Howdy gamers, how's it going? I wanted to make a video today on how to get started on eBay, and I would like to, before I get into it, I'd like to say that this video is scripted. I've never done a scripted video before, because I wanted to make sure I had all of my tips and advice well laid out, so if my speech comes off a little strange, I apologize. I am reading directly from a Google Doc. A lot of people talk about wanting to sell their stuff, but it ends up just sitting in a closet until it's worthless and you throw it away, and I fucking hate that, and I used to do that a lot myself. So much people waste so much, and I think something I personally try to do is waste less and recycle more. And I think selling yourself on eBay is also not only a financially smart move, it's something that where you're not being a piece of shit and just throwing expensive things away because you were too lazy to not take that like $400 computer you replaced out of your closet. And the second thing is that it takes up a far less time than you might think. When you first get started, it will take up some time, but once you get used to doing it and have everything set up, then it can take up very little to no time in your day. A really big thing I'd say also was when you're really new into it, is to avoid new seller scams. A lot of scammers will see that your account is new and you'll get flooded with spam and scamming stuff. Please be careful. Please don't get scammed. It's how they get you a lot. I luckily, because I am a pessimistic piece of shit, I don't trust anyone, so I never get scammed. However, if you're a kind person, you're the person that they take advantage of. So please do be careful. A really big one that they'll try to do is they'll send you messages like, hey, I'm interested in your item, please contact me at this cell phone number. And the most important thing I can tell you is always keep your stuff on eBay. Always sell your item on eBay. 90% of the time they scam you by having you have you sell your item on some other source and then pay you through PayPal and then refund it on PayPal because there's no actual evidence you sold them the item. However, there's a million scams, and the most important thing I can tell you to do is keep all of your business on eBay itself. eBay will protect you from being scammed and keep it through the normal traditional process. Kind of through that, and how it helped me from not being scammed, is take good advantage of the solid eBay community. eBay has great customer service in place for the buyers on their side. However, as a seller, you actually have very little resources to use from eBay, and it is instead much easier to use the resources the community can give you. And there are great forums, there's great people to get in contact with, there are many people who are very kind, and you can talk to them through Skype or Discord and ask them personally how to go about that. I personally use the forums mostly, because that's what I'm used to, and people were very kind on there. I had, I think, 2 or 3 posts I made on there, so I wasn't sure how something worked, and people were like, hey man, don't do that, that's retarded, or hey man, do this, this is less retarded. Generally, they don't actually say that. They're pretty nice people. Also, though, a lot of people, when they first get started, they're not aware of this. There is a new seller hold on eBay. It's a little weird. I will link a link on it when you get in there, but usually the first month or 2 that you sell stuff on eBay, you'll actually get 0 of the money. Now, it's not going to eBay, it's not getting refunded, it's just being held, and you'll see it on your PayPal. All of the money that is happening is being held. I think it happens for 21 days. So just know, do this proactively, and not like I did and wait until you are unemployed and you need to do it to pay the bills. While this is easy to do, I'm ready that it can be time consuming when you first start, and have this be a good secondary income or like a side hustle for when you do need that a little bit of extra cash. And that way you have that system in place. Like if you do lose your job, at least you have an eBay thing set up that you can make some emergency money and sell stuff off of, where you can get way more money for like panic selling stuff to a pawn shop. Especially if you're someone like me who was going paycheck to paycheck for a long time. I still am. It's a nice little safety net I can have, so that way you don't ever have to be like, fuck, I messed up, maybe I bought something I shouldn't. See this nice chair behind me? This is a $250 chair. Let's say I end up having an unforeseen thing, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I really shouldn't have fucking spent money on this chair. I can panic sell this chair on eBay for not that much loss, or sell some other stuff I have. That way I don't need to get a payday loan, that way I don't need to do anything like that for the majority of Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't great about it though. I try to be present-minded enough now so that way I'm smart with my finances, but before, when I was younger and working at the post office, I was dumb with my money a lot. I really was. And now that I have this eBay stuff set up and I'm smarter with my money, it provides this really nice safety net. And speaking of that though, something I didn't quite consider would be that I enjoyed doing it. If you can do stuff like reselling or have other people know in real life sell items for you so that way you can make a profit. I, for example, have had people like my grandparents want to sell stuff for them that they had sitting around, and they never knew I was doing this, but they actually figured it out because I was going to their house to print off shipping labels because they'd let me do that. And I also bought a Ducky Year of the Pig for $160, and I sold it for $500. I made about $300 $100 of profit after shipping and like selling fees. And as you can tell by what I was just saying with my grandparents going to their house to print off shipping labels, I started with nothing. As long as you have the money to cover the shipping until the end of the hold, you can do this with nothing. You can even go to a library to print off your shipping labels and get the boxes very cheap at recycling stuff, like getting the Amazon boxes that your family would usually just throw away. It's what I personally did. And even when you have the money to spend, I highly recommend still recycling stuff and being very frugal, because you're still providing your customers. Your customers don't give a shit if there's an Amazon smile on the box. It doesn't matter. In fact, I've had people message me being appreciative that they noticed I was recycling stuff, because it meant a lot to them that they noticed I wasn't just trying to make a lot of money, and I was trying to be frugal and recycle things and not waste as little as possible. I didn't even have a table when I started. I was laying things out on my bedroom floor. And the quickest thing though, that when you do get a little bit of money, you spend a little bit of money, don't do this immediately. Actually, you can do this with nothing. That way, in case you don't like it and you don't want to do it, you can just pull everything off of eBay and you lost nothing other than a bit of your time. However, some things I'd like to say that you maybe want to do to make the stuff a little easier is a table. That one's kind of obvious. However, you want to have stuff like a light scale, like something that can measure stuff precisely under about 10 pounds. And then you can use something like a bedroom scale. That's what I was using when I first started for heavier packages. I actually still use that. There's no reason to like get some fancy weighing machine. I use a fucking cheap ass bedroom scale I got off of Amazon. And then also you're going to want packing tape. That's also something really easy to find. Hopefully your family will have that laying around. We do, because we move all the time. You want a tape measure. I have a tape measure because I used to do stuff for my car, and just my tool pouch I had a tape measure. They're very cheap. You don't need a nice one. Just get a really cheap one. You get them like the fucking dollar store for like 50 cents. And then something to fill excess space in a package. Something like bubble wrap. I actually recycle all of my stuff, and later on in the video I'll actually lift my webcam up and I'll show you where I work out of, just to show you how budget I am with all of this. And then something I'd like to say too is that, like, if you're very busy, the amount of time it takes is heavily in your control. Because you're kind of self-employed, you can take opportunity of that. And if you're like me and try to work a full-time job, do stuff on YouTube and stream on Twitch, over at twitch.tv/JesterJones, please check me out and see some sick old school RuneScape gameplay, Ultimate Iron Man. You can easily pull back a lot of the work you have on eBay to instead do it at a later time. So, like, because I've been very busy recently, I've actually held off doing some stuff on eBay, which was nice because it was useful. I got unemployed for a while, and because I had this in place, I was able to be fine, and I just sold stuff and I was able to pay the fucking bills, even though I was unemployed for like 2 months before I was able to get on at my current job. Let's go ahead and show you really quick what the setup is. Alright, sorry my lighting is kind of poor, but that's it over there. You can see I have a shitty fucking table it's set up on. I've got a printer, and on top of that printer I've got my tape measure, I've got measuring tape. A bit off to the side, I've got a box with like a whole bunch of Amazon bubble wrap, and then I've got boxes underneath the table that I use for shipping. And then over there on the side, I've got an old bedroom cabinet that I have stuff that I'm getting ready to list, and stuff already on the table is stuff that's currently listed. You don't have to like already be a running business to start. And the final advice I can give you is just to do it. The biggest problem most people have is just taking that initial step. Just get started. The most important thing I can tell you is just to do it. If you have any questions, like I said with the early advice, is just to take advantage of the community. And like you guys know, my Discord DMs are open, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible if you have any questions. So, have a wonderful day.